Lunch Money Lambert, Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation, where we talk about fishing and competition.
Yeah, pretty much. I had a finesse bite going too. I caught some on a whopper plopper pre-fishing, but you know, I saw a post that the best smallmouth river anglers in the country were going to be in this room, and I didn't have the fish to get in here on day one, so I thought, man, I'm just going to grab the jackhammer and go wide dick open and see what happens.
There you go, man.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to KBN Live, the final KBN Live of 2021. What's going on, Mr. Lambert? How you doing tonight, buddy?
We've made it, buddy. We've made it.
Everybody that refers to you, they say Big Stick Hal. Do you know where that came from?
Yeah, Clifton.
Okay.
Yeah, Clifton was the first one to say it. He said it, and it's stuck ever since. Like, I thought it was the funniest thing after he said it, and apparently other people like it too because they started saying it. Everybody knows me as Big Stick Hal now. I knew Joey was going to probably put up another big limit. I didn't know he was going to put up 103 1/4. I thought he was going to put up maybe mid-90s at best, but he smoked them. And then after it came off that stump, it immediately went to this super thick mat of grass, and I had to just pull him out of there. Got him to the boat. I saw it was big. I got it in the net. I knew it was over 20. All I needed was something over 20 is what I thought. So I started screaming. I was like, that's her. That's the one I needed.
Awesome. That is good. I mean, it's like watching the whole thing play out was crazy. And I wish you had service. I would have freaking loved to have seen the engagement on people watching as you like creep up and then pass him and then pass him and then pass him again. So I have a serious question of my own. Who do you think would win in a street fight between you and Brian the Carpenter?
Hey, bro.
I know. Let's hear it.
No weapons, just hands.
No weapons. No weapons. Loincloth and flip-flops. That's all you get.
I like Brian a lot, man. I respect Brian.
So you don't know him well.
You don't know what I'm into, man. Yeah, dude. So no, I'd wrap him up, bro.
Yeah, man. So I know Ryan. He's always got the questions about how the tournament went and things like that. But I got one question to ask first beforehand. Okay. Which was a bigger deal to you, winning the big trophy behind you, or winning that team trophy?
You know, I'll tell you what. I'm going to default and say the team trophy.
All right,
that was pretty special.
Right.
You know, and because it meant a lot to Josh and the Moyak crew. So yeah, it was pretty special. Everybody was pretty happy about that one, so I enjoyed that one a lot. Yeah,
my local club came in runner-up. The club I founded. And I think if I'd have went up to the event, that they probably would have still came runner-up. So,
I like it. Those guys made a run.
Yeah, man. I thought they had it. So it was fun to watch. But anyway, I digress. Ryan, take it away.
It is hard to win at any level you fish. I don't care if you're fishing grassroots federation level, regionally, nationally, in a bass boat, in a kayak, in a John boat. It is hard to win. And I cherish them, man. They're all very special. And that one was special for me.
Let me ask you this, sir, because obviously you've been to the mountaintop, Bassmaster Classic champion. You've won on every level in between that. But as a competitor, I know this win doesn't come with the same media accolades or money or anything like that, but as a competitor, to step out and do something different like this, where did this rank for you winning a kayak tournament versus a boat tournament of a different kind?
Man, I know I've already got flack for it, but I'm telling you, the win itself and the way it happened goes right up there with some of what people think are my biggest wins,
Yeah. And Jordan, to you, man, I mean, you said it yourself. You were wanting that AOY coming into the event, and especially after a good day one. What does it mean to cap that off and win it?
It means a lot. I think one of the biggest things I could probably say is, winning Angler of the Year when I feel like I come up short a whole lot. I've never won like a regional event or anything, whether it's bass or Hobie, and I feel like I've just gotten really, really close a few times. I mean, I finished second at TOC the last couple of years, and I've led like 2 or 3 days on the first days of Hobie events, and it's, winning Angler of the Year is kind of a validity thing to me as much as anything. I feel like that's one of those things where a few years ago I didn't fish as well off the Tennessee River as I do on the Tennessee River, and I remember hearing somebody make a comment that I'd have to figure out how to fish outside of Tennessee or fish off the Tennessee River, and I've not forgot that. But,
that's a lie. Don't worry about it.
I mean, it's one of those things. At the time, they might have been more right, but it now, it's one of those things where I want people to know when I show up that this is I'm here to win a tournament, and that's the next thing is to win a Hobie event or win a regional event, and kind of do things something along those lines, because it's Angler of the Year is a big deal, and I do really appreciate it. But I promise there's nobody that's trying harder to win an individual event than me, and there's nobody that's going to appreciate it as much as I will when it does happen, because it's going to happen.
Man, you go over to the other side, the bass boat world. You're talking about Gerald Swindle, I think Seth Fighter this year, the former AOYs on the Elite Series that have never won an Elite Series event, but their talent is top notch. I mean, Seth Fighter's arguably the best in the world. Never pulled off an event. He will one day, just like you will, because you're one always talked about as one of the elite guys here. So to win AOY is fitting and well deserved, man. So we're all proud for you and pumped for you.
Let's dive into the middle of the schedule for this year, which is the Grand Lake event. As soon as that one was seen, it raised a lot of red flags because the GRDA is not fond of kayaks over there. That's right in my backyard here. So what did you guys get an exception for that event? Are we just rolling with the rules for that event, or how's that going to work?
No exceptions. We're rolling with the rules. I won't say that they're not fond of kayaks. That might be your opinion, Jeff.
Not friendly. Friendly to kayaks. How about that?
The local kayak anglers probably have a pretty good feel of what it's like to try to hold tournaments on Grand Lake. And I know Jeff ran the Arkansas Club forever. What is it? Is it 150 feet from the bank? You can't cross creeks. You can't cross the channel. You have to launch 30 minutes after sunrise. Am I in the ballpark on that, Jeff?
Yeah, it's something like that. We were excited to see a tournament there because it's so close, but the local clubs don't have tournaments there because of that. So we were just hoping that Bass had swung the big stick and got some sort of exception.
No, and we don't typically do that for any tournaments. We don't ask for exceptions. Once in a great while, when the host actually asks for it and really puts pressure on the DNR and stuff. But bass, we typically don't ask at all for exceptions to anything. Now, I will tell you that I've just been around the kayak community for a couple years, and I'm still learning a lot. But the safety aspect, I will tell you that I'm still not comfortable after 2 years of this taking off in the dark and getting to your spot. And that is something that if I had my way, we would never do for any tournament. We would wait till it was safe light like we do for any other tournament, just for the safety aspect. As a tournament manager, as a tournament director, and I've been doing this for 18 years, when the tournament starts, I am there, whether it's a 1 day or a 3 day or 4 day. As a tournament manager, we are constantly worried, concerned. My main concern is that everybody comes back at the end of the day safely. And I still have, after 2 years, I still have a hard time letting the anglers, the kayak anglers, go off at 5:30 when it doesn't get light till 6:30, and they're paddling out there in the dark. I know they have a little light on their boats, and people are supposed to be looking out for them. But it is a concern for a tournament manager. And like I said, if I had my way, we would never do that. For any tournament, I kind of like the Grand Lake rules actually. And now
well, don't implement that into bass, please.
We're not going to. I'm just telling you my personal feelings and my struggle with it sometimes.
Well,
and the Grand Lake is not like for those watching that aren't familiar with Grand Lake, we're not talking about, when you say you can't go across the channel, the main lake of Grand Lake isn't something you're just going to take off and paddle across anyway.
Well, a lot of these guys would.
Well,
yeah,
a lot won't.
Yeah,
and they're just going to have to go by the rules. I mean,
yeah, everybody's going to be under the same rules. I was just hoping y'all did. You know, sometimes when they used to have the Big Bass Fest or whatever on Fork, and you know, some rules would get temporarily changed to take 1 over 20, slot fish to the scales or whatever. I just didn't know if y'all had some sort of influence like that. But
see, even in that one, there's no exception. They only can bring in 1 slot fish, and it has to be over the slot to bring it in. So that's even in that one, there's not an exception for that. And like I said, April 16th on Grand Lake should be primarily bank fishing. I mean, you're not going to want to get out in the middle of the lake anyway. It's going to be bank fishing, pre-spawn, maybe some spawning going on. There's plenty of launches around.
The problem is, John, that we're going into, and I'm going to say 2 things to you. One, the reason we launched so early is to beat the bass boats to the juice. Otherwise, we never beat them to the juice. And we're the only ones on the lake in the dark, so it's really pretty safe. Usually, we're one of the only ones on the lake. And then number 2, on Grand, it is it's the lake of a million docks. It'll probably be one on the behind docks with the fish spawning. Except if I'm in the Elk River somewhere, in the Elk River arm or wherever, and I want to go hit the docks across the way, I can't do it. I gotta go all the way around to the no wake buoy and go across. So that's going to be some of the challenges we're going to have to face. So that's why people are working.
It is going to be a challenge, but like you said earlier, everybody's going to have that same challenge. The good news is that's Easter weekend, and there shouldn't be that many other tournaments on the lake.
I like it.
I'm excited to see what you're going to do with the apiary, right, man? I know that you and Dwayne keep pushing each other. It sounds like you got a great relationship there. Let me ask you this, and you guys don't have to answer this, sure. I guess. Are you guys a united front against the evil empire of fishing chaos, or you just kind of let that
go? No comment.
Wow. You don't have to comment on that.
I'm sorry you break it up.
Okay. All right.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I had to ask it. I just wanted to see Dwayne's face when I said it. But anyway, we can go on to the next thing.
Okay. So,
well, did you get the reaction you wanted?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Here's a list of eligible waters.
So, Blaine, tell us, how'd you catch that giant, Sonny boy?
Man, flipping and pitching. I'm a grass guy. I like to fish grass, as you can see in the background of that picture. And they had sprayed the whole area that I was going to fish. And if you know anything about fishing grass, if it's dead, it ain't worth fishing. So my stubborn self continued to work my way back in that creek. And in the very back of the creek, there's this one little 5-foot bright green, still alive grass mat over about 4.5 feet of water. And 1.5 ounce tungsten weight, 3/0 flipping hook, and a Strike King Rage Bug. I flipped in there twice without getting bit. the wind had blown me up beside it. And I mean, I was literally right up beside it, and I took my rod and I just leaned over and set it in the mat and dropped it through. Honestly, you know, at that point, I'm just like, I'm up against it, whatever. And I picked up on it. And right when I did, I felt wham! Leaned back into her. The braid started making that, as I call the song of my people. And I pulled that giant out of the
Here
mat.
we go. Here we go.
Song of my people.
Yep. I boat flipped her. She hit me in the shins.
You ain't got a net, boy?
I do, but when you're
my
flipping with that
God.
braid, man, it's better to boat flip them. I've lost more fish at the boat doing that, trying to lip them and trying to net them and all that with all that grass and everything and just a small hook. So anyways, I boat flipped her. She hit me in the shins and I fell down, and I kicked her out of the boat when I fell down.
What?
And then I
Wait,
boat flipped
pause.
her again,
Did you have a GoPro going or anything?
No.
Ah.
Hey, listen, I just posted a great video on YouTube. Go watch that shit. We're gonna make you some money, kid.
All right, continue.
It was really awesome. I got her in the boat, and I didn't realize how big she was until I got her in the boat. And I mean, I unhooked her. I put her on the board, and her head was kind of over the fence, and I looked down, and it was at 21, and I put the rest of her down, and it was right at 24, and I was like, oh. My gosh. I was like, this is a giant. And so I got a couple pictures, went to submit her. Attorney X kept crashing on me because I didn't have it allowed to get all my photos. And
I'm glad we didn't bring Dwayne on tonight to tell us about the new 30X.
Complete user error, all on me. So I call Vinny, and I'm like, Vinny, I don't know what to do, dude. I'm freaking out. And I was like, dude, I got a 24-incher in my hand. He's like, dude, calm down. He's like, just close the app, look at your settings, be a normal person. So I went about it, and I found where the setting was off. I fixed it and submitted her, and within a couple minutes I saw that she was accepted. Called another angler that I had put in at the ramp near me, and I'm like, dude, I know you're paddling too. By the way, paddle in my hand, no pedal drive.
I would quit fishing. I'd quit fishing tomorrow.
You gotta come get pictures of me, dude. I just caught a giant, and he came and got all my pictures. But dude, I mean, an absolute tank, tank.
On the second time you got him in the boat, did you boat flip it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Just
boom,
back and forth.
That stuff ain't breaking.
Yeah,
do you want to put any sort of cattle guards or anything on the side of your new canoe?
like bumpers on a bowling alley. That's what we need.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I mean, me falling, like I said, she hit me right below the knees, and I jumped backwards trying to catch her. I mean, if I would have had it on GoPro, man, it would be. I'd be viral. I would.
Oh my goodness!
Once you got her in the second time, did you like talk some smack to her? Like, yeah, you in here now?
No,
you didn't give her nothing.
Looking at that fish, she was rough, man. She had been through it.
She was rough.
Yeah, she had a big old sore.
She'd been through it.
Oh, dirty girl.
Yeah. I looked on
She's from down in Santee, boy. She'd been through it.
Yeah. Well, she had a hole on both sides of her. I think she got shot with an arrow.
Both fishing, baby. Okay.
Yeah, had a sore on both sides that was healing, and I was like, "Holy crap! This thing got shot and it's still eating."
You done ran up in the back of a creek, found some cripple old sow up there, and won all this money on it.
I did.
She's going back there to die. Blaine's slamming her around the boat.
Let her go. She swam off good.
Go. Hey, we got another caller. No, Bob, it wasn't your fault, Bob. You didn't do anything wrong, Bob. So don't apologize.
No, Bob did great.
All right, let's see if we can get this next caller in here. What is up, Garrett?
What's up, man? Hey.
And Pancake and the kids. We got a whole crew.
Hey, listen. I mean, I got Pancake with me because, listen, man, she can't hear anything. All right. Let me tell you, when it comes to getting a payout for a month long, it's like talking. It's like talking like this. Hey, I need my money from May. hey. See, no reaction. I can't pay for my dog to get sign language lessons if I can't get paid for May. Now, the last time I had this problem, the great folks at KBN helped the brother out.
Okay.
I mean, come on, man. It's July 12th. I ain't trying to hear nothing about PayPal. I ain't trying to hear nothing about organizational issues. I mean, we was at the National Championship. It's Attorney X thing. It's this thing. At some point, somebody ain't making good decisions. I'm out.
Well,
Yeah.
let's hear from Guillermo. How
Let's get him in
did your big, I mean, huge win? Like, I think that's as kayak anglers, that's like that's on the bucket list. That's one that you definitely want to take home, and you did it, and fairly local to you. I mean, you fished the Texas Louisiana stuff previously. So how much did that factor into your success?
Well, I mean, honestly, this tournament gave me the opportunity to completely fish what I would consider my greatest strengths, to fish really fast, to make quick, short casts, quick, short, accurate casts. And I was able to do that the entire day, every day, all day. And I think that played a big part in helping me out. It just literally, from my perspective, I mean, when I got there on the first day of practice, I was kind of shocked how good it was fishing, and I hate to say this, but Dwayne Dwyer said it best. I mean, we were, if you guys watched the awards ceremony, he literally said, we just smashed them everywhere we went.
Yeah.
And that's just how it felt. And considering it was fishing to my strengths, I felt like, man, I might have a really good shot at this thing the way it's setting up, and it dang sure did.
Unbelievable. Well, let's talk about the tournament, man. What you said you fished to your strengths. What exactly did you find when you showed up and started pre-fishing that set your mind like that?
Well, I found a 8-foot low lake with a lot of concentrated fish, and it seemed like, from what I could tell, if you could you kind of had to think of it as like, I'm trying to think of the best way to think of it, but you have to think of it as, you have to think of where the fish would drain out, with the lake coming down. And I used that, and I looked at a ton of Google Earth imagery, and I looked at a ton of historical images, and I tried to figure out, based on all the drawdowns from years past, where the fish would drain out. And from there, that's where I kind of designed where I was going to practice. And I mean, I found a couple little holes here and there. And I remember the first day I went in one of those holes, and it was just downright dumb. I mean, it seemed like every stick had a 20-incher on it. Every mat had a big old frogfish on it. I mean, it was honestly some of the most fun I've had bass fishing in a while. And I think Cody and Scotch can attest.
Yeah. It was pretty good out there.
Yeah, I mean, I had fished it a little bit for the NC 2 years ago. I actually spent one of my days there, and I mean, it was kind of a night and day difference in how good it fished. And I guess
you pretty much had your mind made up before you went in. That was the lake you were going to focus all your energy on, kind of into figuring it out pre-fishing.
I didn't quite have my mind made up, but it was definitely the lake I was the most curious about. So it was the lake that I went to first. I was considering the fact that it was drawn down, and I thought to myself, I'm really curious about that. I wonder what that does to the fishing. And I showed up, and I got the answer pretty quick. And from then on, I spent just like Cody, I spent every single day of practice on Bistineau, trying to learn everything that I could.
What's up, friends? Welcome to the Dark Waters. We got the Dark Waters in here tonight after the big W, man. Congrats.
You popping bottles? What?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm still celebrating, guys.
Okay. All right.
I saw your post. You've been preparing all day.
All day, man.
What are you drinking? Pinot Grigio?
I don't know. It's like champagne.
It's like champagne?
It's like this is going exactly how I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
I can't
This is something
disappoint.
like champagne. I don't know.
Yeah. Got it at the dollar store on the way in. I appreciate you, brother. It's good stuff. No, man, congratulations on the big win. And you caught a giant doing it. So how's it feel? How's it feel to be in the winner's circle?
Yeah, it feels really, really, really good. I worked really hard this year. I've had actually a pretty decent year. A lot of good finishes. I'm speaking mostly like local and regional events, but still, it's been a long time coming as far as like just constantly getting my ass kicked and losing, and finally this year, I don't know what it is, but shit just started making sense, and finally, at the end of pretty much almost the end of the season, I was able to put together. And not even on purpose. It's hard to even explain like how the tournament went because it didn't go planned at all. I had no idea that I was going to win until I won. It was a weird experience. I stuck to the plan. Come game day, it was horrible. I was hungover. I ate a bunch of edibles the night before, so I was feeling weird. It's just I was on the water. It took me 2 hours for me to get my shit together.
Are you people taking notes? Take notes, everyone.
Story. I like this.
Yeah, it was horrible. It took me so for one, I didn't even get on the water at time because I was too busy trying to find a place to use a bathroom. It took me like 30 minutes late getting on the water. I'm hungover. I want to throw up. The edibles are still haven't completely got out of my system yet. So I'm floating to my spot. I get there, and I just I couldn't find like the groove. I was just out there, just like. I don't know. I was just moving around a bunch, and then, like, finally 2 hours in, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna fish. At that point, I decided that I was probably gonna leave at noon. I was like, this is going exactly how I thought I was gonna do. I'm gonna stay here till noon. I'm gonna get home early. I'm gonna hang out with the kid, maybe grill some steaks, drink some beers, and be done with this lake. But around that time, like I was offshore, I was like at 30 feet. I was throwing a Ned rig out there, some rocks, and I felt something tug, and I'm like, I think I got one. So I set the hook, and it hit really hard at first, and then it kind of like gave up. So I'm like, gosh, it's probably just a drum or something like that. It's like I knew it was something big, but it wasn't like really fighting. But then as I was pulling it up, it kept trying to dig. I'm like, that might be something. And then all of a sudden I see its head come out of the water. I'm like, holy shit, I'm gonna need a bigger boat. And then so I get it. I'm like, this is huge. It's a huge bass, and I pull it in. And look, I don't think I've ever caught a bass like this big, especially like this. And I remember there was the guy who took the picture for me, Kyle. I'm like, hey, who are you? He's like, Kyle. I'm like, Kyle, you have to come here. I just got a tank. And then he gets over there, and I'm like, I was like, dude, I think this is huge. And I lifted it up and I showed him. He's like, oh, dude, that's fucking huge. And I'm like, dude. And so we get over there and measure it. It's like 22 and a half inches. And I'm like, damn, like this is amazing. And he took a picture. I measured it. I'm freaking, yeah, dude, I'm pumped, dude.
We got to start with the champ. So, Christine, tell us, how things led up to the tournament. I mean, how long were you there? What was the week looking like? How are you feeling going into the tournament?
Oh man, you guys. I got there on Monday, started practice late Monday, and had heard kind of some rumors the lake was fishing pretty tough, and I kind of expected it to be pretty tough. My demeanor going in, for whatever reason, I just, we get towards the end of the season, and we put so much effort into it. I had just wrapped up the national championship. I was kind of tired. I was kind of just weirdly like checked out of the tournament going in. Didn't expect much. And honestly, I think that's probably why I ended up fishing so good. In my mind, I had nothing on the line, nothing to lose. Just happy to be there with some good people and, fish the tournament and kind of be done with that. And my practice did not go very well. I think I caught maybe 5 or 6 fish total, and I wasn't really trying to catch them. I never really do. I was mostly trying to just get an understanding of what was going on the lake, where people were kind of fishing. I like to try to find areas that might be overlooked, especially for a 3-day tournament. I knew areas like Kawiki and some of the more popular places that people were saying this is where it's going to be won, and I stayed clear away from that stuff. And ended up just going and fishing my strengths and, deciding I was going to live or die by a bite in less than 3 foot of water for the 3 days. And it ended up working out.
Yeah.
Looking at your pictures, were you fishing that damn bank grass?
Yeah. That willow grass. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I thought I saw Shane's pictures and I was like, there's no freaking way she caught all her fish in that crap. Like, I hated fishing that stuff, and I didn't get bit out of it is one reason I hated it, I think.
There were definitely unproductive areas. I was specifically looking for stuff that was on the east side of the lake where the northwest wind was blowing all that warm main lake water into those pockets, looking for areas where, that bank grass made subtle points. And then the most productive stuff for me was like those tiny little isolated clumps. It's like I could almost call my shot. There's going to be fish on that.
Yeah, good stuff tonight. Unbelievable start to the 2022 podcast season. When you say, Mr. Lambert?
Hey, we're on pace to set a record here. We got about 9 minutes left till we blow it out of the water.
Right. Well, yeah, man, we're gonna wrap this thing up. We'll get another guest queued up for next week. But I just want to thank you both for taking the time to do this tonight, and we'll wrap this thing up and do it again next week.
Sounds good. Congrats again, Jameson, and thank you to the evangelist for leading us to the light tonight.
Thank you, guys.